Just minutes ago, President Obama approved a disaster declaration for West Virginia. 9 counties are dealing with a chemical spill. It contaminated the water supply. Up to 300,000 people are being told not to touch the tap water.
Charlie, Nora, the chemical began leaking from a hole in a storage tank in the facility behind me. The Department of Environmental Protection is still trying to figure out how that hole got there and exactly how much of the material has leaked out. Some reports have said as much as 5,000 gallons has leaked into the water.
A chemical spill contaminated the water supply to more than 100,000 customers. That includes homes, businesses, even hospitals.
And tonight, the state has ordered the company believed to be responsible for this chemical spill to cease and desist and to inspect all its tanks. Meanwhile, FEMA is on its way here to Charleston to help deliver water to those residents who can no longer turn on the tap.
Everyone is drinking bottled water, even the dogs and pet mouse. But with no idea when the water will be usable again, Taylor's stocked the van with bottled water and hand sanitizer for the ride to her sister's, where the water is safe.
Water bottles like liquid gold. Many are starting to have serious questions about the health risk they may face from exposure to a chemical officials know so little about.
You know, I don't think anyone had any clue what was going on.
I was live on the air when the governor's first tweet went out basically announcing that this had happened. At first, we didn't really know what that meant.
When we don't have water, it creates a serious situation, and not one that's just, oh, environmentalists care about it. Everybody cares about it.
People that couldn't go out and afford to go get a hotel room, couldn't afford to go drive 30, 40, 50 miles to another place to take a shower, to do their laundry, to do the necessities with water. That I think that because of that situation, people just had to go ahead and use it.
It was a mess. I was lucky. I had water. But that meant I was sort of ground zero for people who needed showers, who needed to fill up water bottles, for people who just kind of wanted a place where they could get away from the no water situation wherever they were and feel a sense of normalcy.
The first 3 days after the spill, people were coming to work unshowered, cleaning up as best you could with like baby wipes or some sort of like, you know, whatever towels you had laying around that you could clean yourself with. I mean, bottled water, bar of soap, and a washcloth was about the best you could do.
So much of our state, so much of our businesses, our economy depends on it. It is not just people who care about the environment. They care about the environment because of its value to the people that live here. We
just knew that there was a leak at Freedom. Residents weren't supposed to use water at all.
We didn't have water in our newsroom, so we were trucking in, you know, bottled water where we could get it. We had people sleeping in their sleeping bags. People were working long shifts and staying up 24, 36 hours, 48 hours at a time to cover it. And you know, we did that for a long time because this was really important, and we understood that this was important not just to us, but more importantly to the community as well.
At work, back in the office, whenever that all clear happened, my roommate at the time flushed the pipes, and I remember coming home and getting ready to take the first shower, and you know, that smell was everywhere.
Even once the water was turned on, people didn't believe the water was safe. There are some who live in parts of those 9 counties in southern West Virginia who still don't believe their water is safe. Restaurants had signs up, you know, no water, you know, bottled water only. And then once the water was turned back on in communities, there were a lot of restaurants and other public establishments that would have a sign saying, you know, we want you to know we're using the water. You can request bottled water if you'd like, acknowledging that there was that sense of distrust and concern about the safety of the water even once the system had, you know, gone back to normal.
So the spill occurs on the Elk River. The Elk River is a water source for that area because it's so clean. Right? And it is surrounded by a lot of dirty water.
Know what's going into the water. Know how your water's processed. Understand what potential hazards there are along the waterways which feed your particular system. People didn't know.
One of the very unique things about this part of the world, though, is we are West Virginia is one of very few areas in the region that's expected to get more rainfall in a future climate. Until the public becomes aware of what's around them, the science has less value.
It's Charleston, West Virginia, right? What does someone in New York City care about what happens in Charleston? Maybe not much. But if something like this would have happened in New York City, the entire world would have been paying attention to it. And they would have been hungry for every detail. Granted, part of that's a matter of scale and population and how many people were affected, but it's still 1/3 of a million people